around here.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the 863 Sports Marshentime coming at you. We'll be talking about some recent PITA episodes stuff here. And Donnie, how you feeling today, buddy? I see you got your groove going on. You're looking pretty good.
Hey man, I'm
You
feeling
you gotta throw
excited.
that sign in there. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I got to throw that sign
I
out there,
like it,
man.
man.
J- Just because it's a really good day, man. There's a lot of good stuff going on in sports right now.
Always.
Uh, the Valorant Tournament of Champions 2023. We resumed today at 3 p.m. I'm overwhelmed with excitement, Cody. I'm trying to keep it. I'm trying to contain it in right now. I'm going to be calm. I'm not going to scream. I'm not going to drop any f bombs. I'm not going to do any of that.
He
I
says this now,
promise you
guys.
that.
Don't say he's
I,
going to.
I promise you that. But we're going to give you a good take in the next 20 minutes, man.
I like it, man. I like
Let's
it.
fire them up. What are you thinking about today, Martian time?
Listen, man, we got all these headlines. There's one huge headlines that we all got to talk about it. We got to talk about it, and
We
it's
almost
coming.
have to. It's
Shohei
coming.
Otani,
It's
UCL.
coming.
What's coming up, man? What do
Yep.
you think about it? What do you think about it?
Oh my God, Martian time. This thing was brewing. It was in the back of my mind. I didn't say anything. I didn't want to cast judgment, but Shohei don't get shelled like he got shelled a month or two ago.
That's true.
He started letting on signs that things were going on, and I didn't want to believe that, but I believe that he was trying to fight through it. It was another ailment. As a competitor, Cody, if you got something going on, you think, hey, I can shake this. A little bit of ice tonight, a little bit of salt, Epsom salt. I get the swelling down. You know what I mean? I
Yeah, I
can
mean,
move on
he
and
was trying to play.
I
I
can move
agree.
on. That's it. That's it. I can move on. And I believe that's what was going on there. It's a big blow for LA Martian time. I can't speak on that. They were trying to make a playoff push by keeping Shohei, first of all, and not letting him go on the on the trade deadline. And
May have caused some
this
issues
hurts.
for him. I'm gonna be honest.
Man, it caused a lot of issues. And go ahead. I mean, you could take over on this. I'm just so heartbroken over the news for show. Not just for him. Number one for the organization because they believed in what they had and they were moving
And
forward,
they
and
even
that
went out and
hurts.
got players, and to bring him in to help him
Yeah,
out and everything, and to lose him, I
yeah.
think is gonna. I mean, they're talking about maybe having Tommy John surgery. And when you have Tommy John
Yeah,
surgery, I mean that's a year, dude. You're out. You're done. And that hurts his
that's a
free
big deal.
agency thing too. And that's what I feel bad about the guy. Like he's going into free agency. He was about to make some big bucks. Let's be honest. He's about to make some big money, and that hurts. I mean, now teams you got to be a little bit cautious and like, ooh, is he gonna come back the way he was, or it's kind of scary for the guy. And I feel for him, and I hope he gets better, and maybe he comes back better and stronger than ever. But you know, it happens. So it's
That's
baseball.
a
It's the team sport. So the Angels have to pick up for him and hope that they can, find some help in that rotation.
Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it too, Martian time, man. That's wow, does that affect a lot of things in one ball right there? That's all I can say.
Yeah,
It affects
yeah,
a lot of things in one ball for the whole organization, for the whole fan base. Because you know what? If I'm a fan and I'm a dedicated fan and I'm in that market and if I can get season ticket, if I can get playoffs, I bought into all that. I spent all my money as soon as they kept him
yeah.
and signed everybody they did behind it because it was happening. I believed it myself on this side of the spectrum. I really did.
Oh yeah.
Um,
It
that's a big
looked
blow.
good.
Hey, free agency. Yeah, a lot of teams are going to buy into his batting. Okay, his offense.
That is true.
That's
I mean, it's
number
still there.
that that's A Rod. That's A1. That's Albert Pujols type contract right there. He's going to get a contract, but he's not going to get that contract he should have gotten. That's 600 mil. He was
Yeah.
going to set records. He was going to set records. What he was going to do. It's not going to happen now.
No, I mean, I agree with you, man. I mean, I feel horrible for the guy. I mean, maybe he tried to
Well,
push himself a little too much, and kind of seemed like he was getting shelled a little bit, and something was going on, maybe, and maybe he kind of hurt himself, or maybe the Angels didn't do right by him. Maybe the Angels didn't sit him down and kind of look at it more. But we don't know all the gist and the details, and you'll never know. But I feel
We
bad for the
won't.
guy. I hope he comes back stronger because he's great for the game. I'm gonna be honest. He is great for the game.
I will.
Am I kind of sick and tired of hearing about him a little bit? But yeah, I kind of. But that was mainly because of the free agency stuff and everything, so I can kind of get over it very quickly.
Yeah, you can get over that real quick. And one thing I will say behind this, I like Shohei. I'm not tired. I'm tired of the headlines with Shohei because that's everything you read baseball. That's what you see most of the time. And he's great. He's phenomenal. I still love him. But one thing I will say, even after he has his surgery, Marshentime, mark my words, later on in the future, you're going to see him closing down innings in the ninth inning. Watch.
I could see
You're going
that.
to
I
see
could
that.
see it.
You're going to see that.
I could
I'm telling you.
heck yeah, I could save some pitchers too, and he could really help out teams.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That would be a better use, in my opinion, rather than pitching him 7 and 8 innings or 6 innings and trying to get all. That would be a better. If I need him in the seventh and eighth inning to get into a Fernando Rodney situation, or, just to throw a couple of veterans out there, if to get somebody to get them into that game winning strike, that's who I would choose to do it.
I
Anyways,
like it. I
I,
like
I'm
it.
ready.
It's a good idea.
I'm ready to move on real quick if
All
you
right, man.
don't
Let's move
mind.
on. Let's move on.
Something that's bursting out of my pores right now, and I know you know where I'm going with this. We just jumped back on tour with it today, the Valorant Tournament Champions 2023.
Listen, guys, I got this
Man,
guy. He's hooked now. I got him.
man. Hey, our first match at 3 o'clock. When we watched the Evil
Oh,
Genius and Paper Rex, when we watched these guys, we went into sudden death. We went into
oh yeah, it was a great.
overtime.
Both maps too were even really close. It was awesome.
Oh
Like I mean,
my
every map was so good, and it was so much fun to watch.
man. There was a couple disappointments for me on both teams, but a couple surprising things from both teams, even from the leaders. The everything, the strategy, it threw me off balance. My blood pressure went through the roof. I almost had a
Listen,
heart attack,
hey, we
man.
got to talk about it right now. Loud just won the first map too, and their rematch with Fnatic. So Loud just
Nice.
took it up 13-4. So Loud's
All
coming in
right,
strong,
way to
man.
go, Loud.
Loud wants to face EG. That's going to be a heck of a
Yep.
matchup too. That happens, but Fnatic's still Fnatic, so don't count them out. But EG, man, we got to talk about these guys. These
We got to
guys,
talk about.
they went in to Americas. They lost almost every single game. It was like they were struggling. They were doing hard stuff, and then at the end of I think week 6, they won their last like 4 games and that got them into the playoffs. And then they make this tremendous playoff run. They went from zeros to heroes,
To heroes.
and they're in these, and then they became the villains because of all the toxic, body shooting and trash talk, which I love. It's part of the game. If you're a video gamer, you know there's got to be trash talk, but man, they kind of go overboard. I will admit they kind of go
One
overboard.
hundred percent,
There
they
was
do.
one.
These guys are animals, man.
There
They
was
are
there was
animals.
there was one on Vine, man, where Demon One, he shot somebody with a ghost, and then he emptied his clip. He shot another guy, he emptied his clip. He shot another guy, he emptied his clip. And I'm just like, Demon One, what are you doing, man?
Hey,
Just toxic, but I love it.
let
I
me
love
let
it.
me let me tell you something. Today, when I seen from Mind Freak,
Oh, that
listen,
was crazy, especially map 3.
that was an exhibition of excellence right there. That's was awesome. I would replay that 1,000 times, man. Mind Freak really played that deal, man. Really kudos to Mind Freak on that map there.
Now he
Map
did he
three.
did really well. I'll
Yeah,
give him that, man. I mean, but both teams did so well, and
they did.
and I'm gonna be honest. Paper X won without something. Something just I don't know what
It
happened
was
to him in map
zero.
3. He didn't do
I think he
anything.
was.
He
He had
got
to be a
jet diffed
decoy.
so bad. He got jet diffed by Demon One. Don't get me wrong. Demon One is probably the top player in this tournament. If you could
Well,
look at
they
all the
had the
stats,
they had the
I
best
mean,
kills on EG. Yeah,
oh,
he
it
had
was
he had the
crazy,
top.
man.
Yeah,
Demon
he had
One
the top kills. Yeah.
Demon One. I mean, I think he was at like 1.41 KD before when we were going into this match. It was top of the
Mhm.
tournament. I think the next one was like Alpha Gear, which was on Fnatic, who is a great team. Fnatic is still probably going to be the top team even if they lose this tournament. Their players are just something built
Yes.
differently, and their IGL is so much better. But I love Paper X's W gaming is what they call it. They push. They don't care. They say their aim is better than yours, and they're proving it. I mean,
They are.
they're in the upper finals. They get the
Hey,
upper finals. They're there. They're ready. They're waiting.
and
I'm
and the,
excited.
and the, to capitalize and just pounce on exactly what you're talking about. Perfect example at the end of that match when they sealed that last map. When they sealed that last map, that's what they did. They ran what was it, 8 or 9 in a row against EG, and
Yeah, it
and
was.
Mind
I think it
Freak
was like
was
it was like five in a row, and then EG won one, and then it was like three more. It was crazy.
it was amazing. They rallied back, just like you said. We don't care. Our backs against the wall, and we think we're better than you anyway. So let's run it. So,
Oh yeah,
and
I
that's what
mean,
they did.
and that's how they've been. And this is Paper X's last tournament with their full roster. One of their players is going off into military service, and
Yep,
I respect that. And I think Paper X is wanting to win this even more now, and I think that gives them a huge boost. They get the help now though. In the
that's
upper band
huge.
finals, they get to have the two choices of what bands they get to choose on whoever they're playing. So if they're playing EG, they can play they can ban EG's favorite map, which is Fracture. So it's gonna be huge. I think it's gonna be a fun series though, and I'm just excited about the one going on right now though. I'm excited, so I'm happy.
I need you to tune in here, right here, brother. Face us,
All
talk
right,
to
all right,
us.
all right, all right.
Tell us, give us a last update. What's going on right now, Loud
Listen, man,
Fanatic? What's the last
we're waiting
update?
on map two. We're waiting on map two.
We're
You
just
know,
still waiting on map 2.
yeah,
Okay, Loud took map
Loud took
1.
Fnatic's map though, 13-4. So
Okay, and that's what they did in the first round. You remember
they
that,
did,
Cody?
they did.
They did that in the first round. So that could be a repeat in the same match, but Fnatic's got to have that in the back of their mind.
Listen, the
Man,
last
this is a
time though,
great
I'm
tournament.
thinking about this.
This is
You,
great.
you didn't know about this. This was before you got into it. Loud and Fnatic were in the champions last year,
No, I
and they
researched
were.
it.
Oh, they were, and
Oh,
Fnatic
yeah.
was down like 3-1 or something, or 2-1, and they had
Hmm.
or 2. I think it was 2-0, and Fnatic had to win the next three maps, and they came back and won every single map against Loud.
They were down 2-0. Yeah, that's a fact. I went back and watched it. You can
It
go
was
back and
crazy,
watch it
man.
on
It was fun
YouTube.
to watch. Like
That
that
was
was
cool.
Fnatic
There
came
was
back
a
and
couple.
won Icebox too, which was the craziest comeback I've ever seen. I think Loud got
Yeah. Yep.
complacent, and if they get complacent here, Fnatic can do the same exact thing. So I
That's
mean, it's a little
exactly what
scary.
happened.
Loud does that a lot. They get complacent, and Fnatic is not afraid to come up and step up.
Yeah, you
So
turn around and get complacent. That's real easy to do, and that happens in the NFL and all major sports with a
everything,
lot of.
that's why you
That
see all the
happens with a lot
crazy
of stuff.
upsets because teams come in complacent. In college football especially, which coming up, I'm excited for that as well. So but hey, let's go
College.
into something else, man. We'll wrap up with the Valorant thing because maybe we got a special episode for you guys coming in Sunday. You never know, so come in and check it out. I
Yeah,
want to go into
yeah.
another one
We'll
of our
move on.
loves, though. I want to go into another
Hold
one
on,
of our loves.
Marshentime. What's going on with your camera, brother? I need you
What
back
do you mean?
here. Come back into the
I'm
podcast
not.
room. I
My
lost you.
camera's on perfect, man. It's just you. It's just
Okay.
you.
Okay,
It's
it's
just
just
you. It's
me.
all good though.
What
Yeah,
else you
we're
got
good.
for me?
Hey, man, what do you got with your favorite? Our favorite love, our favorite pastime. We got to talk about the fishing. We got to talk about the weather these guys are fishing in. What do you think about it, man? It's kind of crazy. Like this
The
guy's in six
bass,
foot wells in fishing.
dude. Is that not nuts? These guys, you know what? They get paid a lot of money to do what they're doing, Martian time, but oh my gosh, I don't know if I have those kind of goals, man. I was watching them in a Bassmaster Live today. I'm telling you, I was watching them at Bassmaster Live today, and Chris Johnson, he had a big one on the line. Don't get me wrong, they got that big blue trophy, and they got a lot of money on the line, and this is their living. But good God, Jesus, save me! He had one on the line,
Yeah.
and the bow as his boat come up, and when it smashed down,
You
these
just see a
waves
big
were
wave
coming
bow.
up.
It was crazy, man.
I'm like, man, this guy is awesome.
Uh,
You know, I'd much rather just watch him do this and do that.
yeah.
Okay.
Me and Donnie Mac would be in the calm area over in the back. We'd be fishing over there like, now you guys go out there. We'll stay in here somehow. Listen, man, I mean, I love fishing, and I would love to win a tournament like that. I don't know if I'm going out in 6 foot wells. I mean, you could tell the guy could barely stand up. I mean, he was fishing in his seat. How often do you see these guys fishing in a seat? Let's be honest.
You
It
know
was
what?
awesome.
And that was the first thing that caught my mind when I loaded it, and that's what I was thinking about. I flashed it on and I was having trouble with the computer and I was like, wait a minute, he's sitting down in a seat. So I blew up the screen down here because
Yeah.
I was trying to look at the standings. I wasn't trying to look at what was going on because I was busy in my workday. And I blew up the screen and this guy is riding the bow of a boat and just smashing down. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, no wonder he's got a
And
seat.
he said that too. Oh my god.
I said, no wonder he's got a seat there. But kudos to them. That takes, and not only Chris Johnson, but C. Fuentes, a lot of those guys, a lot of your big name fishermen, we're out there doing the same thing. You know why? Because that's what it takes to win. That's it. When you got a job to do and these guys got a job to do, I was in the middle of my work day, you're in the middle of your work day. They're in the middle of their work day.
Oh
That's
heck yeah!
another
I mean,
thing
it's
for
their
them.
work,
That's
but
it. That's
you
it.
know, I
And
mean,
that's it. That's just totally nuts. But I'm going to steer you on before we run out of a whole lot of time. We're not going to keep on.
all right. Well,
There's
yeah.
a big thing going on. Now we're going to move on. A little bit more exciting news. The Miami Dolphins are making a big for JT. The
Who's that?
new
Who is that? I don't know who you're
JT,
talking about, man.
Jonathan Taylor.
Listen,
You
man,
know,
he's
the
not the new
Indianapolis
JT yet.
Colts, man.
He's not the
Come
new
on, man.
JT yet. I know
Is it
you're
not going to
excited.
happen?
I know you want to see it happen. Listen,
I
man,
want to see it
I'm still
happen.
questionable about it. Indianapolis
Okay.
may want too much for it, and Miami's got to be careful. Their running room is not horrible. I mean, it's going to be a shared, backfield with it. I, I don't see JT coming in and making like the craziest difference. I think it would help out a lot, but I don't think it's going to make like I don't think he's going to be a 2,000 yard rusher. I mean,
Well,
I think it
I
would be
I
good. I don't
will.
think it's a first round pick draft. Let's be honest. What would you trade for him?
Well, listen, I'm going to apologize to our listeners first of all. When I say the new JT, I mean Jonathan Taylor, the running back in Indianapolis, is pleased with Jim Irsay and that organization over there. Okay, the Dolphins had chased number one Delvin Cook. They lost out on him, right, Cody? They
True,
chased
true,
number
true.
Yeah, they chased number two, Josh Jacobson, and L.A. Or Las Vegas shut him down and said, "Look, he's not for sale, and we're not trading." So you know what? The last hope they got, and they got Mazur from 49ers, and they got Wilson Jr. from 49ers. They got a couple of backs that are not going to scare
Listen,
a whole
man,
lot of defenses, but
that rookie may be good. You keep leaving him out.
But
Javon may
that's
be
the thing.
good.
That's not me. That's not me. That's the overseeing of the NFL. When you say those names, that does not scare the NFL. But when you say Delvin Cook, you say Josh Jacobs, or you say Jonathan Taylor, that scares that defense. They got to watch them. They got to watch them. And I think the Miami Dolphins may make a bid on that. Now, to answer your question, I understand why they're making a bid on it. And I think it's going to happen. I really hope they need this. Tua needs this. Tua,
Two
my
of
MVP, my MVP need that.
his preseason picks, man.
So to answer your question on what would Jonathan Taylor, number one, we just talked about a couple of weeks ago, Raheem Hines.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Naheem
Indianapolis
Hines, yeah,
ruined
yeah.
the first. Yeah, Naheem. They ruined his fucking draft pick. And excuse me for dropping that F bomb, but listen, they ruined his draft pick, and they have a whole deal. Marshall Falk left there. Edgerrin James left there. Everybody that was really good had to get out of there to win a championship.
That is
Okay,
true.
this is a repetitive thing. Jonathan Taylor goes down to Miami. He wins a Super Bowl.
Oh, that's you heard it. You heard it here, guys. You heard
You
it
heard it.
here. You heard it here.
Are you
I think he's kind
serious?
of crazy. To be
Dead,
honest,
dead serious,
I'm
dead
gonna be
serious.
honest. I think he's
I,
just
You
I
out of
give
your
he's a
mind.
little old,
Jonathan
guys. He's a
Taylor.
little old. He's a little old to be young.
I give him a lower first round draft pick, early second round
A
draft pick to
lower.
answer your
You're giving
question.
him for so you're giving up a
I
number
am.
one draft pick. Man, I just
Yeah,
can't do that.
I am. I
So
am.
you're saying
I am.
Raheem Mostert,
Right
Jeff
now,
Wilson
listen.
is not
Yeah,
good enough to. So you're going to give away a first round draft pick?
I'm not saying that, but
Man,
both of those guys are third down backs. If you ask me,
mm,
both of those guys can do it for third down. One, two, that's my guy. JT's my guy. He's the threat for
man.
4 and 5 yards a pop. He is the
Mm,
guy.
mm,
Look, this is
mm.
the year. You're invested. You have to win this year. You have to. If you're Miami Dolphins, you got to freaking win this year. because
Do
you
you have
might
to win this
lose.
year? I mean, you got
You
everybody
have
coming
to.
back, man.
No,
Who
no, no,
are you
no, no,
gonna
no, no,
lose?
no, no, no,
Who are
no,
you
no,
gonna
no, no,
lose?
no.
Who are you gonna lose,
No.
man?
First of all, you lost a big corner in the secondary that you just got.
Well,
You
that's. I
ju-
mean, yeah, but he's coming back next year. We still got him
He
next
might
year.
be. He might be, but he might not be that Pro Bowler we know him as. We all know how that
I
goes.
think that man is coming back, and he wants to
Man,
prove himself
dude,
as the number one quarterback
listen,
of all time.
listen.
He's
He's
coming
too
back stronger than ever.
he's too far in his career. He might do that, and he might have a half a season, but it's going to wear on him, just like it does all
Listen,
the veterans in our.
Jalen Ramsey, if you ever
Listen,
hear this, ignore this guy. You're going to be the number one quarterback. Just ignore this guy.
hey,
This guy has no idea what he's
hey,
talking about.
hey! Now that you're talking about this too, if you hear this guy doesn't believe in you. Okay,
Listen,
I call you.
no. I never
No,
said
no,
that.
no.
I have never ever said I don't believe in Tua. I
He
don't
calls me
mind Tua.
crazy. He calls me crazy. I
But
call you the best
hang on.
quarterback in
All
the
right.
NFL at 100%.
Whoa. No. We're not going that far. We're
At
not going that far.
100%.
Listen,
Listen,
so you're saying, all right, if you got to bring back one Hall of Famer from the Dolphins, any Hall of Famer, and you get to stick him in the lineup right now, who would you bring back?
no, no, I'm not saying that. No, 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 no,
No, come
no,
on.
no.
You think
I'm
he's the
talking
number one
about
player
today.
in the NFL?
No, no, no,
You
no.
think he's the
I'm
number
talking
one
about
player in
today.
the
No, no,
NFL?
no, no, no. No, I'm sorry. Nobody takes place. No, 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 no. Danny Boy is throwing the ball for me, straight out of Pittsburgh, straight out of his college. He's throwing the
All right.
ball for me. Okay, his first rookie year, he's throwing the ball for me. Okay, so
I was just wondering.
that's
You
not what
get
I
hyped
mean.
up there,
No,
buddy. I mean, I'm
no,
just saying. I'm
no,
just
no, no,
wondering.
no. That's not what I mean. That in today's football, even Patty Mahomes, I think he has a setback year this year. He's going to surprise a lot of people.
I think
He's
you're out
going
of
to
your
set
mind,
back.
man.
I don't, and you know what? Football's going to take place in 2 weeks, so we ain't going to have to worry about that.
Listen,
But
when I'm right, guys, come back and
JT,
tell me. I know.
Jonathan Taylor to the Dolphins, Marshentime. Bottom line, do you down deep? Do you really want the Dolphins to make that trade and get him?
Listen, I would love the Dolphins to make the trade, but I wouldn't give up a first round draft pick. I don't see him
That's
being worth
honest.
that. He's coming off a really injury bad year. Like he had a
It
lot
is.
of injuries last year, and it's a little scary, man. He's not
It
the biggest
is.
dude. He's a smaller guy, and we already have injuries enough on our team. But if you can get like a mid second round, maybe a late second round pick, I wouldn't mind trading for him. But I
Or
don't want to be
maybe
giving up first round draft pick. I can't.
even send one of those other running backs over there
Yeah,
to
another
Indy.
running back. It's like a third round pick. That would be
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, that would be
But
cool.
I don't
Okay.
give up too much for him. Is what I feel like. That's just how I
I'm
feel.
with you on that. I'm with you on that, and I'm going to move you on to the next subject for we'll run out a
All
whole
right.
lot of time because this is
Yeah,
our
that's true.
middle of the
That's true.
week deal. Listen,
You know.
uh, the teams that you expect to make a bigger turnaround this year. Give me two
Mm.
teams that you really expect. Listen, on that spectrum, also
Oh, oh.
the most improved teams. I want two teams that are going to decline too for you, Martian time. Give me two and
Ooh.
two, two and
Well,
two to
you know
look
what?
out
I'm
for.
gonna be a little bit surprising here, and I'm gonna go with the Chicago Bears. It's gonna be increasing themselves. I don't think they're gonna have like a tremendous year, but I think they're gonna
Okay,
move up. I like
good
Justin Fields,
call.
and I like the way they're doing. Man, I think they're gonna move up a little bit. I think they've been a little bit sneaky in free agency, and people really don't realize it. I think they're
I
gonna
think
have a
that's
decent year, and I think they're gonna have even maybe 8 and 9 and 8, or maybe even 10 and 7.
I think
Who
that's a really good
knows?
call.
You know,
Yeah.
that's one of them. I'm gonna be kind of quick about it.
And
The
then
next
the
one.
NFC, and the NFC
Mm,
Martian time, the Bears could make a push for the playoffs too. They could.
possibly. I don't know about they're gonna go that far, but you know, um,
What else you got?
I picked an NFC team. Now I'm trying to look at the AFC, just trying to keep it 1-1.
One and
I'm
one.
looking at different teams. And I'm thinking, uh, the Broncos. Everybody thinks the Broncos are gonna do great. Them still. I'm not going to question them still. The Jets, I think they're going to have a decent year. I think they're going to do good, but I'm still leaving them out of it. Now I'm looking at this one division. I like how Pittsburgh Steelers have kind of added things, and I think they're going to have a decent year. I really do. I think they're going to make a push for the playoffs, and people don't realize it. And mainly because of
Wow.
their defense. TJ Watt,
Wow.
Minka Fitzpatrick, that defense is scary to play. And
Okay.
I think they're going to be a little bit of a surprise for people.
I
I
see
like
that
the way they're
Heinz
built.
Ward. I
Yeah,
see
man, my
that.
new Heinz Ward.
I see
Hello
that
there,
back
buddy.
there behind you. Your little
Yeah,
Pittsburgh
man.
homer back there. I see ya.
I don't know about Pittsburgh homer with all my Astros, but hey, man,
Uh,
you got to take stuff. I loved Heinz Ward how he
hey,
played, man. That little guy would run through people like nothing. I loved it.
I'm gonna add on to you there with your Pittsburgh Steelers pick there for the most improved. Their defense, if I get a shot to take them in fantasy, I'm with you on that. I will
Mm,
take them bad boys. I will take them in
they're
that
good, man.
division right there. That division is a really good division. That's a bold pick, but they can give them everything they want in that division. They really
I'm
can.
telling you, man. I'm telling you. All right, man. I gave you two. You give me at least one of your teams that you think's going to do good. And I'm
Okay.
going to think about my declining teams real fast.
My very first pick that I think is going to improve this year is number one, the Los Angeles Rams. First of all, look at all the injuries. And number one, they got Cooper Cup, Matt Stafford. Everybody's coming back. It's going to be a different year for them. Just for Matt Stafford being healthy and being able to throw the football, that right there gives them 5 wins, in my opinion. 5 wins at
But
least.
yes, it doesn't take too much to. I'm going to be honest. It doesn't take too much to do better than they did last year.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So that's a big one for me. L.A. Rams are gonna. They were the number one most injured roster on the league last year, if not number two. They might have
That
been
is
number
true.
two
That is
behind.
true.
Yeah, behind the Denver Broncos. And I think you and I piddle paddled that a little bit this afternoon. But anyways, what else you
All
got,
right.
man? You want?
I'm going to piss off a lot of people. I'm going to be honest.
Oh, go ahead. Most
And I'm
declined
okay with it.
players, or not players, but teams.
Teams. I
Two,
think, I
two
don't
of
think
them.
they're going to decline a lot, but this team's going to decline where, everybody always thinks they're going to be so good. They're always Super Bowl contenders. The Dallas Cowboys are not Super Bowl contenders. Get out of here with that
Ooh.
garbage. They're not going to be that good. Even in the weak division they're in. I'm sorry. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not the
Ah.
team. They're going to decline. Dak Prescott's going to take a step back. They got rid of their offensive coordinator who was putting up points for no reason. I'm sorry. Put them down. They're not going to do well. I'm sorry. They're not. Now I'm
you
moving on to I did my NFC one, going to my AFC, right? So now I'm
what you
thinking of
got?
my AFCs. Oh man, this is a tough one. This is a tough one for the AFC.
No, no, it's not.
Yeah, I
Think
think it
about it.
is, man. Who are you thinking?
I'm thinking
I
of
mean, I
Buffalo
know,
Bills.
but I don't think they're going to decline enough to where it's going to hurt them.
I
I'm going
think
to be
it's going to hurt
honest.
them in that division.
I think the team I was thinking was the Tennessee Titans.
Ooh, that's a good pick too. That's a good pick too. I'm
That's where
thinking
I'm
Buffalo,
going.
Tennessee. Yeah,
I
that's a
think
good pick
Tennessee's
too.
kind of, they're trading
Here's
away a lot of
another
their
one.
players. They're not. They brought in D Hop, but I don't think it's gonna be enough, man.
Yeah, I think so too. And D Hop's stretching the end of his career too. We got to realize
Exactly.
that he's still got some paws on him, but how long are his legs? Can he stretch it through a 16, 17 game season though?
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's a good point. Okay, so Dallas Cowboys, I don't agree with that pick. First of all,
Hey, I know you
Mark,
don't. No, most people won't. But I'm
hey
sorry.
Mark,
They're
I
overrated, man. They're
but I
overrated.
respect it. I respect it. And first of all, the one half I can agree with you on that, and the rest of it I don't. And I'm going to show you why. I'm going to tell you why. The first half I agree is because of Dak Prescott. I really don't think he's the guy. I
He's
don't.
not.
Uh,
He's not.
we've seen him for a few years. He's had a lot of talent around him for the first couple of
And
years,
he's
and now he
never got it
doesn't.
done.
And
Yeah.
it's not showing anymore, and it's actually starting to show itself. But as offense coordinator gone, but with Mike McCarthy taking over offensive coordinator, I think that might supplement a little bit of what Dak's got going on. But they have to do a
Oh, you're
lot
out of your mind.
of
You're out of
they
your
have to
mind,
do
man.
a
Kellen
a
Moore
lot
put
of
a great offense in there. I mean, I'm sorry,
nah.
man. They were putting up points.
Well, you're right. You're right, and he's now gone over there to Los Angeles
Yeah.
Chargers now,
There was
and
no reason for you to get rid of him. Mike
wow.
McCarthy, I'm sorry, Mike McCarthy is not the
Nah,
offensive
you're
genius that
right.
everybody thinks he was. He had Aaron Rodgers.
You're
You
right.
guys, I mean, that's the only reason he did anything,
You're
man.
right. And
That's
I'll
just my
set back
feeling
on
about it.
that. I'll set back on that because I forgot Kellen Moore was there. You know what? The dude's serious, and he's going to prove that this year. Why? Just watch Justin Herbert this year. You'll see.
I agree.
You'll
I
see.
think Justin Herbert's gonna have a breakout year.
Yeah, just watch
So
him this year. You'll see. Dak Prescott couldn't do it under him. Yeah, there you go, buddy. You're done.
that's
Anyways,
exactly how I feel.
uh,
But that's fine, man. You know.
so last question I got for you, Marshentime. We're going to close this
All right.
down. Okay, number one, I'm going to mention this. I'm sorry, starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Baker Mayfield.
He is now the starter for Week 1. How do you feel about that? I got one more after this.
I, there's nothing to feel about it, man. The Buccaneers are done anyway. They don't have an offensive line. They don't have a coach. They don't have the only thing they
It's
have
not
is
gonna
like two good receivers, and that's about it. I mean what?
not gonna work out
I
well
mean what's he
then.
gonna do? He's gonna be knocked on his butt before the first quarter. He's probably gonna be hurt before the third week. So,
Back to the NFL. Back to the NFL. Number one coach on the hot seat right now this season. What do you think? You can go
ooh,
one or two
ooh.
right now. You can pitch
Mm,
one or two
mm,
out there. But who
mm.
comes to mind as far as being on the hot seat? Give me a hot seat.
There's three that I see that are really on the hot seat right now, and we already talked about one of them. Mike McCarthy, I think, is on a hot seat. I really do.
Okay.
He
Yes,
fired
sir.
Kellen Moore for a
Yep.
reason, and
Yep.
that's kind of
Because he
sketchy.
thinks he's better. That's a good
I
point.
think, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that puts him on a hot seat. I think with America's football team, blah blah blah.
Yep.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah. Jerry Jones.
Ron Rivera.
That's a good pick. With the Commanders. That's a very good point because his offensive coordinator getting,
Mm.
yeah,
Big
that's a good
big
point.
upgrade in offense coordinator. So
That's a
if it's
good
a little
point,
sketchy,
man.
it's a little weird.
That's a good point.
Last one, Sean Payton. I don't think
Ooh,
he's on a hot seat, but I think he talked a lot about Nathaniel Hackett, and if he comes in there and Russell Wilson does the same thing and the Broncos do the same thing, mm, I mean,
that's
I
a
don't think
good
he's gonna get
point.
fired after this year, no matter what. But
Boy,
I think that the
his
fans will
stock
be
goes down though.
furious. The
Yeah,
fans will
his
be
stock's gonna
furious
go
if he
way
yeah,
down.
exactly.
Yeah. Good call on that, dude.
Hey
Good
man,
call. Three really good
All right,
calls,
I
and I
got one
agree.
question for you before we end this though. One
Spit
question.
it out. What you got? What you
One
got?
question. You got the number one pick in the fantasy football draft. Who you taking? Number one.
Man, that blew my mind. That blew my mind
I
just
had to
now.
throw this at
That
you,
blew
man. You
my
threw this
mind.
at me last time. I had to give
Oh
you
my
one good
gosh.
question, bud. One good
Okay.
question. Number one
Okay.
overall. Who you taking?
Man, back in the day. Oh man, I'm gonna hit you with this Martian time. You guys
Uh
take this
oh.
to the bank. Okay,
Uh
you
oh.
take this to the bank. Back in the day when you say you can count on three things, and that's death, taxes, and Peyton Manning. Nowadays, you can count on death, taxes, and Patty Mahomes. Take him number
You
one.
just said he was gonna have a bad
No,
year, man. Get
take
out of
him number
here.
one.
Get
Take
out
him
of
number
here.
one.
You out of your
Get out of
mind.
here. You
No,
just said he was gonna have a bad year like 5 minutes ago. Now you're
fantasy,
changing up your.
fantasy,
Oh
fantasy,
my God, this
fantasy,
guy.
and winning.
This
Listen, you
guy.
can
You hear this
lose.
guy, right, guys?
Listen,
Oh
Peyton Manning in
my.
his career, how many games has he lost in the playoffs? But how many fantasy numbers has he accumulated? First of all, that when you're talking fantasy
Hey
and
man.
winning in the Super Bowl, there's two different things. Patrick Mahomes, number one, he is on point when it comes to his playing from behind. He gets you yards if he's playing from behind. He could score you a lot of rushing touchdowns. Fantasy points are what we're talking about, not winning in the playoffs. Patty Mahomes would be my number one pick.
Hey man, we'll stick with it. All right. Sign us off, Donnie Mac. We'll sign off. See y'all next week.
All right, we're done with this craziness this week, man. We'll catch you Sunday when we give you a full outlook of a whole hour of Valorant 2023 Championship. Until then, this is Donnie Mac at Marshentime. We're out. 863 Buzz.
See ya.